Morning! Breaking news. Josh Taylor has signed with Bob Arum, ESPN and Top Rank with a new promotional deal. So, for those who don't know, Josh Taylor is the WBA and IBF champion. And recently, late last year, around October, he won the WBSS tournament, winning the Muhammad Ali Trophy, outpointing Reggie Prograis in a close fight. That fight was on DAZN in America and on Sky Sports in the UK. Josh Taylor was, or shall I say, is, a bit of a grey area, promoted by Barry Mcguigan, that's Cyclone Promotions, and he's trained by Barry's son, Shane Mcguigan. So I think everyone thought going forward that Josh Taylor would do like maybe a joint promotional deal with Barry Mcguigan and Eddie Hearn, so that he could be on Sky Sports, which is the biggest, I'd say the biggest boxing broadcaster in the UK. Obviously, Josh Taylor being from Scotland, it makes sense to grow your base in the UK. However, he's announced yesterday on Twitter that he signed with Bob Arum on Top Rank. So that means that in America, his fights will be televised on ESPN. In the UK, I don't know who's going to televise his fights. Will it be on BT Sports or will it be on Sky Sports? That remains to be seen. Now, from a boxing fan's point of view, so me as a fan, what I like about this is that I know that Bob Arum promotes Jose Ramirez. Now, Jose Ramirez is in the same division as Josh Taylor, and Jose Ramirez has the WBO and WBC belts. So he beat Morris Hooker last year. So if these two fight, that's for the undisputed. So I'm happy about that, because I want to see an undisputed fight. Now, I'm assuming that if he's broken his contract with Cyclone Promotions, Barry Mcguigan, then I'm assuming that Bob Arum is paying him good money to break that contract. And let's just have a quick look at a statement from Cyclone Promotions when they heard that Josh Taylor left. So here we go. We are very disappointed to read the news that today that Josh Taylor has signed a promotional agreement with another promotional company. Josh Taylor is under an exclusive worldwide promotional contract with Cyclone Promotions. We have successfully brought Josh to the pinnacle of the sport from the day that he turned professional, including working alongside other stakeholders in boxing to deliver him the biggest fights. Most recently, Josh became IBF World Champion in May 2019, then Unified Champion in October 2019, and we have been working since then to plan the next stage of his career. We are saddened that Josh has felt the need to attempt to break his contract in this manner and frustrated at those who have caused him to do so. So that to me says that Barry Mcguigan, Cyclone Promotions, they feel that they have a tight contract with Josh Taylor and that he's broken his contract, so there's going to be some legal action. They're going to try and block his move to Top Rank, or maybe even sue. On the flip side, Josh Taylor is managed by MTK Global, and I would assume they would have looked at his contract thoroughly and said, listen, there's some loopholes in your contract, you can go and sign a Bob Arum. So it's either two ways. Either there's loopholes in the contract where Cyclone have not met certain things, so it makes the contract void, or there's enough loopholes that ESPN and Bob Arum can say, listen, just come with us, we'll pay him off. Do you know what I mean? So there's going to be a little bit of a dispute there. I'm not sure how that's going to go. But back onto Jose Ramirez. Ramirez is an exciting fighter. Wicked left hook, short looping right hand. He knocked out Morris Hooker last year, so that's going to be a really good fight. Ramirez is an American fighter based in California of Mexican descent. So maybe if that fight's in America, he will have a huge Mexican following behind him. Apparently, he sells out 14,000 in the stadium. And Josh Taylor's not, if we're being honest, he's big in Scotland, but he's not big in the UK. So that's a good fight. I guess from my point of view, I'd want Josh Taylor to have a big UK broadcaster behind him, so his fights are shown in the UK and he's sort of getting promoted. But sometimes boxers have to take a different route, and it's not always about the best way is to come up through your country and through your fan base, but sometimes you have to go abroad, travel, win some belts, and then come back to your country and be respected then. So maybe right now Taylor's like, well, you know what, I'm not that big in the UK right now, and I'm 29. I got Anthony Joshua ahead of me, I got Dylan White ahead of me, and even though Kell Brook's faded, but a lot of the big names ahead of me. So maybe I'm going to go and get these belts and then come back as a king and be respected. So let's see what he does. Josh Taylor's response to that statement was, Josh Taylor's response to Cyclone's statement was, and this is on Twitter 9 hours ago, I wanted to stay respectfully silent about my relationship with Cyclone, but given they have released a statement, it's only proper that I respond. Whilst I acknowledge and appreciate the role that Cyclone has played in my career to date, 3 weeks ago, I terminated my promotional agreement with Cyclone as a result of various breaches of contract, including in particular breaches to relate into a conflict of interest on the part of promoter that allowed me to search for a new promoter, which I have found in Top Rank. I wanted to part ways amicably and without resorting to court proceedings. I thought and hoped the Mcguigans would feel the same way given the litigation they are involved in with other fighters. I hope all of us can now move on in a positive way, concentrating on things which advance us all. So Taylor believes that they've breached their contract. I'm not sure how. I haven't seen a contract, but that's not the last we're going to hear. I'm sure there's going to be some more back and forth in the media. Funny enough, Shane McGuigan, who is Josh Taylor's trainer, he replied on Twitter. He said, if you want loyalty, buy a dog. So as I said earlier, Shane McGuigan is the son of Barry Mcguigan. So Josh Taylor was promoted by Barry Mcguigan and trained by his son. So I'm assuming now that they're going to part ways. They appeared very close in recent times, but hey, these things can pull you apart. And I guess from a fighter's point of view, when you're 29, you have to be a little bit selfish and make the right moves for you. And sometimes you can be so loyal and stay in the same place and nothing happens. But when it's all said and done, it's down to you. If it goes wrong or goes right, it's down to you. So I think from Taylor's point of view, he's got to do what he feels right. Interesting point though, Bob Arum. So the WBSS tournament was at 140 pounds and also at bantamweight. When the monster Naoya Inoue beat Danae in the finals of the bantamweight tournament, Bob Arum signed Inoue, and now Josh Taylor has won the 140 pound tournament for the WBSS. Arum has signed him again. So Arum, it looks like he's quickly signing these fighters. So interesting. Also, I listened to a Bob Arum interview. I think it was early January, late December, and they asked him about 147 pound fighter Terence Crawford, who's one of the best fighters in the world, and he said, "What are you going to do? He's being frozen out. The rest of the champions in his division are with Al Heyman at the PBC. How are you going to get in those fights?" And what Arum said is, well, what we can do is we can get in fights against Reggie Prograis, who's at 140 pounds, and Josh Taylor, who's at 140 pounds. And now he signed Josh Taylor. So maybe that's part of his reasons. I'm going to sign Taylor so that he can fight Ramirez. And then the winner of Ramirez can fight Crawford. So Crawford has potentially 3 big fights. Even though they're at a smaller weight, Crawford's not a big 147 pound guy. And, Ramirez, Taylor and Prograis are all big 140 pound guys. So maybe that's part of his logic, is he needs to find fights for Crawford so he can keep Crawford. So anyhow, give me your thoughts on this whole Josh Taylor leaving. What's your thoughts? This is MSLB, Mark Sternline's Boxing. Tell a friend, he said, she said, subscribe. Let's get this channel moving. Have a good day. Bless.